if you've clicked this video, chances are you're looking to upgrade from an iPhone to a Sony zv-1f like me. Maybe you've committed to this YouTube thing long enough that you've decided to invest in yourself a little bit. I've made my vlogs the past year using just my iPhone. It's an iPhone 14 Pro, and that has served me really well. I've been really happy with it. You can see this part of the intro is filmed on an iPhone. Now, before I move on to show you the actual camera, just a disclaimer, this is not a tech talk heavy vlog. If you're looking for something more along those lines, I've linked a lot of great videos that I've watched in the description, so go ahead and take a look at those. This is more a side-by-side comparison for all of my visual learners like me. This is also not going to be edited or color graded at all. This is just going to be the footage as it comes from the iPhone and the footage as it comes from the Sony zv-1f, using the settings that I have found that work for me. I'll share those settings at the very end of the video, so if you want to skip to that part, you totally can. This first part, as you can tell, is just to show you what it looks like to film an intro video in daylight. It's a little cloudy with just the iPhone. And before I show you what that looks like from a Sony, I want to show you the Sony itself, and I'll tell you how much I paid for it. Hopefully this focuses pretty well. It came with a wrist strap. It came with a separator, with a little cleaning kit, which is nice. It came with a mini tripod. This is a nice inconspicuous one to take to like a coffee shop or just use when I'm drawing. The tripod that I've been using is this one. I'll link it in my Amazon link below. I really love it. I took the iPhone part out, and then you can just screw your camera directly on. It didn't come with, and what the Sony does not have is a flash, but you can purchase it separately, and where the mic muff thing, that's where your flash would go. So let me do the second part of this intro and tell you a little bit about myself on the Sony so you can see what the Sony looks like from this kind of perspective. Okay, hello again. So we are using the Sony now, and what's nice is I can see myself in the little flip screen. The only thing that I've seen a lot of other people comment on is that sometimes you start looking at the screen instead of at the lens. So that's something I've been working on. So welcome, I'm Mel. I'm a former special education teacher turned artist. I've used my channel to document my journey and kind of just share bits and pieces of what I learned, like upgrading to a new camera or how I print stickers, things like that. If you want to know that full story, I have a draw with me that kind of gets into the nitty-grittiness of that. I of course feature lots of art. I feature some DIY projects, just bits and pieces of my life. If you're interested in any of that, I would absolutely love for you to subscribe and come back and join our little community here. It's really hard to turn our spare bedroom into a studio, so if you want to check out how that happened, you can check out this vlog. Okay, so now that I've shamelessly plugged two vlogs and you are able to see the difference between the Sony and the iPhone in filming a introduction like this, I want to give you a little side-by-side of both in a tour of my studio. That little tour. I tried to keep the iPhone and the Sony as close together as possible so you can see it from the same angle. The next thing I want to show you is the autofocus. I think autofocus is probably one of the more important things to me because I spend so much time holding up little products in front of the camera or showing whatever I'm drawing. So if you have a similar setup, this might be helpful to you. So I'll share my complete autofocus settings at the end of the video, but I just want to show you a little demonstration of the settings that I found by showing you a few things in front of the camera so you can see how quickly it snaps to focus. So here's a little charm I made for my oat milk girls. Here is a print. Here is a mahi I sketched out. Here's a sticker. So the last thing I want to share with you is a side-by-side comparison in different environments. So I'm going to take you through a little mini day in the lifestyle vlog with both the iPhone and the Sony filming the same thing. And I'll see you back here and I'll share all my settings with you. Breakfast. Okay, so some final thoughts and my settings. Battery time is okay. If I let my camera run and film straight through, it'll film straight through for about an hour and a half, which is great. I also bought extra batteries. It's a little 3-pack with a charger that I'll link below that has been really useful because when the battery does run out, all I do is pop it out, pop the new one back in. Doesn't waste me a lot of time. Remember, it doesn't come with a flash, so if you want a flash, you can buy it separately and attach it to where the mic would go. And when I first got the Sony, I took a couple of test photos and videos of just, in the moment of around my house, and I'll share them while I chat, but I noticed I looked very washed out. As you can see, I've got some melanin going on, so I didn't love that I looked very washed out and almost a little bit pale. The last thing I'm going to share with you is how I took these first test photos from the factory settings to this and how much warmer it is and how much more I love it. Let's take a look at my settings really quick. All right, so here's a little bit of a snapshot. When I first got it, I went to menu, and if you start at the very top, I didn't do anything here. Image quality, file format. It was originally on HD, I changed it to 4K. And then shooting mode, I have program auto for shooting mode. And then image stabilization, I have it active. My exposure is down a tiny bit, it's at -0.3. And then my white balance, I also shifted to daylight and standard. In color and tone, this is where I have the range optimizer, and I think what made the difference in the warmness is my setting for creative look. I used PT, which was a little bit warmer. If you look over here, you can kind of just play and decide what looks best to you, to your skin tone, to your setting. I use PT. Profile off, frankly, I don't know what it means. And then I have the soft skin effect off because I feel like that gave me that slightly washed out look to my skin. I like my texture. And here I think is the most important part for me, my autofocus. My focus mode is continuous. And then the focus area, I had to change around a little bit. The subject recognition is on, the recognition target is human, but I had to put faces priority off because that's where I noticed when this was on, my products would take forever, not forever, but would take longer to focus. So I haven't really played with these. It'll ask you to set the date and time when you first open it. Accessibility has a screen reader, which is kind of nice. But yeah, those are my settings. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that this was helpful to you. I super invite you to subscribe and to come back and take a look at my other vlogs. And don't forget to check out the links to the other creators and their very informative tech talk videos about cameras. I learned a lot from them. I'm still learning a lot from them and use them for reference. So I definitely encourage you to go watch them. And I will see you very soon, hopefully in my next vlog, and have the best week. Bye.